My name's John, and I'm your first speaker. Who here invests in the stock market? Lawrence? And who here invests in real estate? Okay. Who here has a savings account in the bank?
Saving account?
What interest do you get in your savings account?
2.25.
Wow, that's pretty good. 10%?
What is a bank?
2.25 in a saving account? It's an online bank.
Well,
yeah.
most people get less, like
Yeah,
zero.
Like zero.
Unless you got $1 million and they give you more. Well, today I'm going to talk about gold and silver as an investment. Mostly silver because it's cheaper and I have some in my pocket. The first thing I want to say is you're not going to get rich off this. Most people invest in real estate. Lawrence gave a speech a week ago, or the stock market. That's where most people invest, and that's fine. For gold and silver, it's just an alternative for maybe a small percentage of your wealth, 5 or 10%. And you'll see some of the reasons why it could make a good investment. Now, many people think if they follow the markets at all, gold and silver, well, it really hasn't done anything. The past few years, it's been at the same level. Why would I invest in gold and silver? My sister bought Apple. She's made 10 times her money. People made money on Facebook, or Lawrence, real estate. Why should I buy gold and silver? It's a bad investment. But like I said in my speech, it's for the long term. Now, if you look at the year 2000, we'll start from then. Even that's not long term, but it's 18 years. We'll go back to the year 2000. If I told you that gold and silver have performed maybe better than stocks, you might not believe me. But the fact is, in the year 2000, gold was at around $300 or $400 an ounce. Silver was at $5. Now gold is at $1,200. Silver is around $15. So they've tripled. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, I think, was at 10,000. Now it's at 25,000. So if you look at it that way, gold and silver have done well. Now, I gave a similar speech a few years ago, and I think actually the price of silver has dropped, which goes back to my first point, gold and silver for the long term. Now, a few other reasons why you might want to invest in gold and silver. Everyone thinks the US dollar, it's the world's currency, it's great, but the fact is, if you go back, I think about 100 years, Lawrence, it's lost about 99% of its value, the dollar, paper dollar. Now, sure, you get interest in the bank, but outside of NEO, most people get a very small amount of interest. So, I just happen to have this 10-ounce silver bar in my pocket, if I can get it out. This is 10 ounces of silver. I just bought it today. I wasn't planning into this, but
Cool.
who here knows what this thing would be worth? Anyway,
It's about 250, right? What? Oh, sorry.
closer than most.
150.
$150 because it's 10 ounces of silver. It's $150. Now, assume by the end of my speech, I've convinced a few of you people to buy gold and silver. You'll see what I'm talking about. So let's say you had a bar of gold and silver. You listened to me, you bought a bar of silver. This is a great test and a great reason why you might want to buy it. The number one reason, dollar losing value, but the number one reason is really inflation. So let's say you buy this for $150. You put it in your drawer. Other people outside of NEO are going to have the same $150 in your bank account. $150, I know you're not going to get a lot of interest. Maybe if you have a large deposit, but for $150, you're not going to get interest. Now let's look for the next 5 years or 10 years, like I said, long term. Inflation. So we can't know what inflation will be, but we can assume rent, food costs, education costs. When I went to college, it was probably 1/10 of the cost it is today. Healthcare, a million different things. Every year they go up. The government says 2%, but is that true? No. Maybe 5 or 10% is really what costs go up. So what's going to happen is if you buy one of these, or maybe 10 or 50 or 100 if you're rich, and you keep it for long term, not a few years. A few years ago it was cheaper, but long term, maybe 20 years. This, over the past 100 years or so, has kept pace with inflation. So 20 years from now, that money you have in the bank, and like I said, people still are going to invest in stocks, real estate, and over long term, maybe they perform better than gold, silver, maybe not. But the fact is, this is a hard asset, and stocks and maybe some real estate could just be paper if you're investing in the stock market. If there's some type of crash, who knows what happens with all that stock stuff. But the point is, 20 years from now, this is almost guaranteed to hold its value, whereas other things may not be. Now, when I did this speech last time, a lot of people asked me, well, sure, John, you're a gold and silver expert, but for the average guy, where do I buy something like this? So the fact is, there's many places to buy it. You can go to a local coin shop. You can buy it on eBay through some of the top sellers sell on eBay, and it's just easier than if you buy them through the company itself to do it on eBay because they have different policies. And the thing you want to look for with silver or gold, but silver today, because gold is, if this was a gold bar, it would be worth, I think, about $100,000. That's another reason why silver just could be, Lawrence, the better investment, because if you go back hundreds or thousands of years, gold and silver has always been valued at 15 to 1. There's 15 times more silver in the ground than gold. But now, who knows what the ratio for gold and silver is per ounce? If gold is 1,200 an ounce, silver is 15. Right now, it's actually 80 to 1. So if we go back to what the historical norm should be for silver, 15 to 1, that means this should actually be worth close to $100 an ounce, right? If gold is 1,200. So that's just another reason why people think silver. And I have a feeling that one of the reasons it's not is because in the old days we actually used silver for coins and stuff like this. So maybe they just don't use as much. That's just a guess. I could be wrong. But anyway, so does anyone have a question on any of this? I know it's probably new to a lot of you. And another reason why you might want to invest in this is, who invests in gold and silver? Lawrence, you told me during the break you used to when you were rich. But does anyone else invest in this?
A little bit.
Little. But my point is, quick point, the time to invest in something is when no one else is doing it. We all remember when everyone was buying real estate or stocks in the year 2000 and then it crashed. So generally you want to be buying something maybe when someone else isn't buying. So just in closing my speech, it's not something you're going to get rich to put all your money in, but just to set aside a small amount. It's nice to have something that you know is going to hold value, increase in value, increase with inflation, and it's also nice just to have it and look at it. So thank you very much.